Yes, yes, y'all. It is time for another Daily Bread Project. You're listening to thedailybreadproject.com, and we bring you your daily dose of light. I'm figuring out the acronym now. Leadership in good and hard times. Light. We're bringing you the light. Can't do it on my own. I always do my best to have a guest to share the light with you. And today I do have another special guest, and this guy's not typically on these kind of things, I don't think. So it's going to be super cool that he's here with us. I'm going to promote him to panelist, and I'm going to bring this thing live to Facebook, and we're going to launch into it. Yeah, right on time. That's what we do here. So, Eric, I'm going to promote you to panelist right now, and I'm going to get this thing going on Facebook if Zoom cooperates with me. If not, we'll record it and we'll put it out there. Either way, we're going to bring the light, we're going to bring the nourishment, we're going to bring the positivity, because that's what we do around here. All right, let's find, we're posting this up on the Podcast Factory page, switch things up a little bit, wanted to get this in front of more people, give more people their daily nourishment. So we're trying something a little different, sharing it to the Facebook page. It looks like it didn't let you promote to panelists, but we'll try that again in just a second. Let me do my typing here. And we'll be live on Facebook in just a second. Let's see. So we have one of these weird situations where Eric's in here twice, I think. Let's see. I'm going to promote you to panelist. And hopefully that works. Ah, technology. You got to love it. You there, Eric? Let me try this. So, Eric, it looks like you're on a computer and calling in. Is that right? Or maybe
I'm all confused.
We just need the computer. I'm getting a little feedback on that one. Unmute Eric. So talking permitted. You have a camera over there by chance?
Yeah, man. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now, loud and clear. The only thing we need is for you to kick on the camera, and that way I can see your smiling face, and we can launch into this. But
so I, for some reason, don't see any camera settings. I do have a camera. So
let's see.
I can leave and try.
What are you on? Yeah, why don't we do that real quick? Why don't you try to pop back on? And then the camera settings are in the lower left if you're on a computer. You've got them.
Yeah, I normally see them.
Okay. All right. So, gang, this is part of it. And at first, I was going to let this kind of stuff derail me. I mean, the second day I had such technology problems. I'm like, why the heck am I even doing this? And that is the resistance. That is the darkness trying to take over. And we're not going to let that get in our way here at the Daily Bread Project. So even if we have a couple technical difficulties, Eric will come back, his camera will be on, everything will be beautiful.
Absolutely. I am here. Can you see me, man?
Now we're cooking with gas, man. How are you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic, my friend. How are you?
I'm stoked that you're here. I mean, we've known each other for years, and I don't think we've ever hopped on a Zoom call together. So what better time than right now?
Absolutely. In self-isolation, I'm just happy to see your face.
Man, you're telling me. I usually do this from the home office, and I had to get out to the studio, the coastal studio over here, to pick up rents and do something a little bit different. So, man, I don't know if you've had a chance to check it out, but I'll brief you and we'll run into this. This is the dailybreadproject.com. We bring power, positivity, love, and leadership daily. The world is crazy. There's chaos. The markets are falling apart. People are social distancing. And I think now more than ever, we need to be together. That's why you and I are together. That's why we're bringing the light daily. And I even came up with an acronym for light. You want to hear it?
Let's hear it.
Leadership in good and hard times. Light. We're
Nice.
bringing the light, baby. So this
Amen,
is
brother.
this is my man Eric Handler. Good, good, good dude. And I know you're bringing the light, brother. So let's start right here. How are you staying positive these days?
Oh man, that's a loaded question, but it's been super important during these times for me at least to maintain a semblance of my routine. You know, over the years, I've kind of figured out a routine for myself, and so I've really tried to, despite the schedules and how they've changed, I've really tried to work hard at just maintaining that routine, and that's been really important.
What when you're talking about your routine, because I'm like you, I need a routine or else I go crazy. What what's your routine look like and how much have you had to shift it?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think I'm certainly a creature of habit, right? So I've kind of developed this philosophy of 10-5 for my life. It's something I've been living off of for probably the last 5 to 7 years. And it's real simple. It's just in bed by 10 and up at 5. And it's a little bit more challenging because the family schedules have been altered. The kids are getting to bed a little bit later. Somehow online school is making that a reality. But man, being able to get up early in silence, reflection, maintaining that 10-5 schedule has been really important for me in kind of staying positive.
You know what? I'm joining you in that. I actually, when the boy was in school, I was getting up at 6:30, and now that he's not in school, I'm like 5:30, 5 o'clock. I don't know. I need like a few minutes to myself, and it's crazy right now with everybody home and us not being able to leave. So I get that, man. So what do you do in that self reflection in the morning in the silence? Are you reading the Bible? Are you doing meditations? What are you doing there?
Yeah, so it varies a little bit, and I'm definitely not perfect. I mean, sometimes I wake up at 5:30, sometimes I wake up at 6, but ideally there's a number of different things that I know if I'm going to have a great start to my day, I'm going to make sure I hit on. The first is getting into the Word and doing a devotional. That's really important. The devotionals vary. I'm a big fan of the YouVersion app. I love that. There's another platform that I like called Right Now Media. Every now and again, some friends will recommend something that'll help me get some positive thinking into my mind in the morning. So always that devotional time. I usually follow that up with a little bit of journaling. I'm not a huge journaler, but if there are some things going on in my mind that I just need to flush out, there's nothing better than being able to sit in front of that iPad and just knocking out some thoughts and ideas. The second thing is definitely meditation. So I do love to meditate in the morning, and then follow that up by a good exercise. So right now I'm into running, and so I'm running probably 15 to 17 miles a week, and
Wow.
I'm totally digging on my Peloton. I've had a
Yeah,
Peloton now for about 2 years, and I've been getting a lot of use out of that
I
lately.
bet.
So by the time I get all that done, it's usually about 8 o'clock, and that's when the critters start rolling out of bed, and breakfast is on the way for all of us.
Man, I'm thinking like Peloton apps or the Peloton stock's got to go up. You can't leave your house. Anybody who has it, even Cupcake Rachel, she downloaded the app and they train you to go run and walk, even if
That's
you
awesome.
can't even if you don't have the bike. And I'm like, there's going to be a whole resurgence of working out at home now with everything going on. But you're looking good, man. That running's paying off, brother. You look like you're taking care of yourself, man. And so what I hear you saying, if I could distill it for our listeners, is you take the morning to fill up your cup so that you can pour into your family and into the rest of your day.
Totally. I mean, absolutely. In fact, JR, when this whole thing was starting to go down, and I think we could all see it happening. I mean, we saw what went on in China and what was going on in Europe, and And we knew it was coming, and we started to self-isolate as a family pretty early on in the game. I was kind of like, what's a framework for thinking through this? And what came to me was this analogy of when we fly, and when they're going through the emergency protocols, they always talk about putting that face mask, that air mask on yourself first. And that just has really come to me in a big way that, look, if I'm going to be pouring out to people and serving others all day long, which I love to do, if I'm going to be my best, then I got to take that morning time and do, people call it self-care, personal development, what you just said, filling your cup. I mean, I just think that that's critical. It is for me, at least, so that I can have kind of clarity throughout the day as I give of myself to the people in my work, the people in my community, friends and family. I just want to be present and with them during this challenging time. And that morning routine, just as you say, filling the cup, I love that, is just been really important for me.
Man, I'm digging it. I'm digging it. So let's talk about, since you've mentioned being there for your family, taking care of yourself, those things. How has your how are you leading differently? So you do have a team, you do have a family at home, you do have clients. So how does your leadership look different these days? What are you doing nowadays?
Wow, that's a loaded question, and I was doing some reading the other day, and the best way that was kind of described to me is that in business we've got kind of a rule book, right? A rule book. We have to have revenue, we have expenses. Hopefully, there's enough left over so that there's some profit, and those rules of business of profitability are pretty set in standard. You can't really change them. But the playbook has changed. In other words, how you are running your business, especially over these next 90 days, I think has changed dramatically. And how you lead has changed dramatically, I think. And so it just so happened that our group and our team went through some strategic planning at the end of March. I thought it was perfect timing considering everything that was going on. And we've just took some of the key areas of our business and have taken an opportunity to really dig in harder. And so if we were serving our clients and what we thought was a 10, frankly, we just elevated the bar and said, what does it look like to serve our clients at a 20?
Well, wait a second. It's not possible. You're talking. Is it possible? What do you guys do? Like, give us that to me. And I think that if you're, I talked to one of the other guys from our class, Kevin Christie, and he was talking about strategic coach because we're all strategic coach guys. And that's what he said. It looks like coach has pulled back and started just working to serve us, the people that pay them more, and not worry about the rest of the world. And so I hear you saying something similar. So what's that look like in your business?
Oh gosh. Well, I'll just give you a tactic, so that you can kind of get a hold of it. Everyone's at home, right? And so we're going through an initiative right now where we're getting home addresses, and we're going to just start surprising our clients with just little moments of joy. And we've put a team together to start thinking about what are some of the things that we can do creatively so that, when something shows up at our client's front door, or when they get an email or a phone call, it's just something out of the blue that puts a little joy in their life. And, frankly, there might, perhaps there wasn't time to do that kind of stuff. Now we've got some time. And because we have the time, it does allow us to take what we had previously said was a 10 and move that to a whole different level. So I am really excited about doing that, not only for our clients, but also doing that for our team. And we're doing a lot of really cool stuff for our team right now where we're just
Tell
really
me some of that.
well. So one thing that we've done, or a couple things. One, we're doing a stand-up leadership meeting now every day for an hour. And that has been fantastic because the market and things are changing so quickly, and we're working on a lot of these new initiatives. We all need that we all need that time as a leadership team to brainstorm and give the best of one another. So I think our teamwork is coming together, but we're also doing so in fun. We want to have fun. And so
Is
tonight,
that allowed? Is that
oh
allowed in
man,
these times?
it's got to be. It's got to be. We all need a little humor, right, brother?
You know
Um,
it.
so yeah, I've got a little surprise virtual event tonight with the team, and we just try to really sew into one another as we are going through these interesting times.
Man, I'm digging it. I'm digging it. And I'm with you. That was that was one of the first things that we did. I didn't even realize it, but that was one of the first things we did was like we opened up a Facebook group for our clients because we needed another touch point with them as this was going down. And now we're pouring into them that way. And I really didn't think about anything. I think I was reacting, which is a terrible thing, but I was like, all right, here's what we're going to do. The team was on it. Like we launched this show so we could talk to our friends, talk to our clients. Like it's a great time to do all the things that you said you wanted to do and didn't have time to do. Right? We're out of the time excuse is gone. Like
So,
all you have is time now, and what are you going to do with it? So, man, what are some of the other things that you're doing with your time that you're excited about right now?
oh man. Well, I'll say that we're going on probably 20 of the last 25 days of having dinner together as a family. That's just been amazing. I love it. And, we live here in Atlanta, so, traffic is crazy. And, my wife commutes about an hour away, and sometimes it's an hour and a half. And although we think we have dinner planned at a particular time, just schedules get all crazy. Well, we're all here now, you know? We're planning dinners. We're sitting down as a family. I mean, that's just been, I think, one of the hugest blessings for us to be able to sit down and have some quality time together as a family.
Bro, I I love that you mentioned that because that's something that when we moved to our new condo, we got into this bad habit of all of us sitting around the TV. And just about maybe 2 months ago, we just started family dinner at the bar. The three of us say grace, sit there and talk, and all of us just chill out together. There's only three of us. No reason why we can't do it. But there is something special about breaking bread, having that time, and just being together and enjoying nourishment,
Yeah,
kind
for
of like
sure.
what we're doing here. This is your
That's right.
daily mind nourishment. So how are you taking care of your mind, man? I know that you're a big reader. Clearly I pretend to read. So what are you doing to take care of your mind?
Yeah, so I mentioned running. So I've become a big, and have been for many, many years, a big fan of Audible. Listening to podcasts now. I've got a new podcast to put in my rotation with the Daily Bread. So I'm pretty fired up about that. Member of Audible, really trying to stay up on just books that I'm interested in at this particular time.
What are you
Uh,
reading now or listening to right now?
I just finished Extreme Ownership.
Oh,
Great
I
book.
read that 8 times last year.
8?
I
You're a
couldn't get enough. No, I because every time I listen to it, I come back and I'm like, I'm failing. I'm failing as a leader, and I got to go back and listen to it again. And I'm like, God, I'm failing. I'm failing as a leader. Let me listen again.
I tell you, the one thing that I loved about that book is that we all know accountability and ownership is important. And as leaders, we really try to work on that. But this just brought some examples into the equation, and it just gave you just a little shift in a paradigm. And I love that example that he gave in the book about, the winning team, and then they
The
had the losing
Boat Crew
team,
6 and Boat Crew 1.
and then they switch leaders. I mean, that was just an awesome story. I mean, everyone needs to pick up that book and just read it for that one story. It was amazing.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and I think there's a fascination too. I personally, I have the book, but I think the audio book is better because with the sound effects, it just adds another level. And to hear their voices, it's like, I don't know. And plus, I mean, boys grow up wanting to be soldiers at one point or another and wanting to be badasses. I think it plays into all of that. But dude, that book is so good. I love it, man. Let me, well, I'll make another book recommendation if you haven't read it yet. Have you read Relentless?
I have not read
Put it on your
Relentless.
list. Put it on
All
your
right.
list, bro, because that's right up there with extreme ownership.
Okay.
But yeah, I love that book. What else are you listening to? Anything else you want to share with us on the reading front that we can share with
Yeah,
everybody?
so this is actually a book that's at my bedside that I'm reading right now. I've actually had it for years, and I'm probably most excited about this book right now than I have in a lot of the books that I've read. And it's John Wooden's book on leadership. It's called Wooden on Leadership, the UCLA basketball coach. Holy mackerel. It is so amazing how and what he's, I mean, we know him for all the national championships and what he's done as a coach. And that book from the very start just shined with there's a reason why he was so successful. And his pyramid of leadership that he put together is amazing. And so I'm really digging on that book, Wooden on Leadership.
The love of the fundamentals, like from tying the shoes, like every little thing plays into it. It's just yeah, man, I love that. I love that. I don't know if I read that one. I read another one of Wooden's books, but all right, cool. Let's keep going. So um what are you most excited about right now? What are opportunities that you're seeing that have you excited?
Yeah, wow. Um, you know, it's interesting that you asked that question because we are in these real challenging times, you know, and I think if you let yourself fade into the media and what's going on and, you know, just the tragedies that are happening all around, you know, you can kind of get down this path. But I think that there's an equal path on the opposite side, and that is the excitement of the future and the vision and the opportunities of what's happening. And I heard someone say it the other day that because of what's going on as entrepreneurs, we have the opportunity to do in maybe a year or two that would have taken us 4 or 5 years. Because for whatever reason, you know, all the boundaries have been thrown away. You know, all of the concerns and fears of failure that maybe many of us are gripped with are tossed aside, and we're just given this free reign to try and to experiment. I mean, you know, look at what you're doing with the Daily Bread. The fact that I'm even on here and I've got a webcam and I'm talking to a computer, and I've done a gazillion Zoom meetings, and we did a webinar 2 weeks ago with our community talking about the COVID crisis and how leaders are. We showcased 3 companies that are going through the challenges. I mean, we would have never done that kind of stuff. So I'm just excited about the new ways that we are going to be creating value for our clients, and perhaps even some of those we don't even know yet. And so, you know, frankly, I feel the future is bright, but I think you have to have a desire to see the upside in spite of everything that's going on in the marketplace. I think we're going to rebound. This is not a financial crisis; it's a health crisis. I feel like we're going to rebound at some point. We don't know when. I certainly don't know when, but we're going to do everything we can, one day at a time, to position ourselves and be prepared and do it with excellence.
I love it, man. And you spoke about the media, and I've actually gone on little tirades about this, so I'll save everybody
Yeah.
that right now.
Okay.
But what I will say is that they're pushing like new agenda, pushing vaccine and that kind of stuff. And I will tell you, everybody watching, and I'll tell you, Eric, that I have the antidote. It's the Daily Bread Project, the positive thinking, looking to the future and knowing that we're going to come out of this because we always do. We're humans, we're powerful, we're made in God's light, and we're here to
Amen.
do that. So,
That's right.
brother, this is a fun one. And it's okay if you need to think about it for a second. 5 years in the future, looking back at the 2020s and thinking, how do you want to be remembered? What
Mm,
do you want to be remembered for in this time?
mm. Um, Yeah, that's a great one, and I actually ended our webinar that we did a couple of weeks back with this thought that we all have an opportunity to play a particular character in our story, and so I've thought about what character do I want to play or have played during this time. And it's clear as day that I want to be a light to people. I want to encourage, I want to serve, I want to motivate. I learned this saying of giving with the expectation of nothing in return, and I want to just do that at a times 2 or 3 or 4 right now with my friends and my family and my close network and my community. I can only do so much, but those that I'm interacting with, I'm really trying to keep that in mind. I mean, am I making a difference in their life? Am I making an impact? Am I being a light to them so that then when they hang up the phone or they get off this screen and they're like, oh, I just feel energized, and that's really what I want. That's the role that I want to play. That's what I'm trying to do every day. That's why I wake up at 5 stinking o'clock in the morning so I can fuel my tank, as you say, and just be ready to go after it and just do my best to have nothing left at the end of the day, frankly.
Oh, hairs on the back of my neck standing up. Empty the tank, right? Fill it up in the morning and leave it all out on the field.
Yeah, man.
That's beautiful. That's why you're here. I know you, and I knew you were going to bring that. That is exactly why you're here, because we've been friends forever. I mean, what, 5 years in coach?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've been through all kinds of ups and downs and twists and turns. And I mean, of course, nothing like this, but I knew that you were going to bring that. So we're coming close to the end here. And I want to ask you, this is the free for all time. Anything you want to say, any thoughts you want to share, any parting advice that you want to leave with the Daily Bread?
Mm. It's interesting. I've just kind of been thinking about where we all are and where we've been over the last month or so. And, oftentimes, and I hear it from myself that, if I had the time, I'd do this. And, we're all in a really unique situation. I mean, some of us are working harder than we've ever worked, Yeah, right. You. Right? And but it's different. And I would just challenge myself, challenge you, challenge the listeners that if there's stuff that's super important to you, whether it be your health. Man, I'm seeing tons of people running and walking and out there more so than ever before. Keep it up. Don't let life get in the way. Make it a priority. And that's, to me, is how I try to live my life every day so that I can be the best at serving others. But every one of us have things that we want to do, and we can prioritize the list. But I just want to encourage you to prioritize the list and then pick it, the number one, and then just go do it. And who cares what happens, because you're going to get better at it. You're going to learn from it. You may realize that it was the wrong thing for you to do in the first place, but just go do it and experience it. And I think that's what's amazing about the life that we live, is that we have this opportunity. And because we've been thrown this deck of cards, reshuffle them and then just go after it, man. That's all. I mean, that's kind of how I'm viewing it right now.
Go after it, says Mr. Eric Handler. So, bro, if people want to find you, where can we find you?
Yeah. So our day job is an executive search firm here in Atlanta. We're at handler.com. You can email me at eric@handler.com. If there's any listeners out there that just want to talk and connect, just call me. My cell phone, 770-815-1559. You can shoot me a text or give me a call. Just happy to help. Anything that I can do to assist.
Incredibly generous, Eric Handler. Thank you for bringing the light This is the dailybreadproject.com. We bring you daily positivity, daily light, daily goodness. This is the cure for all the bad in the world. Thank you guys for tuning in. And Eric, thanks for your extreme generosity. I appreciate you, brother.
Hey, thanks for doing it. Really
Yes, sir.
appreciate it. Thanks for having me today.
Ciao.